The graduation address gives us the opportunity to hear from a distinguished member of our alumni community, and we are fortunate today that the address will be delivered by the Adjunct Professor Rhonda Stuart. Adjunct Professor Stuart graduated with a Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery with honours from Monash University, and then completed her Doctor of Philosophy in nosocomial tuberculosis. I had to check that before we came on stage. And she can tell you what it means. Adjunct Professor Stuart is an experienced infectious diseases physician at Monash Health and Medical Director of Infection and Epidemiology at Monash Health. She's also Director of the newly established Southeast Local Public Health Unit and the Clinical Lead for Monash Health COVID-19 vaccination program. In 2020, she was actively involved in the COVID-19 response, and for that we thank you. She's an advisor to the state and national committees on COVID-19, and also, of course, with that, it brought significant media presence as well. Adjunct Professor Stuart is currently on the board of the Australian Society of Infectious Diseases and has engaged with multiple policymakers through her contributions to writing position papers and guidelines for local and national bodies. I now have much pleasure in inviting Adjunct Professor Rhonda Stuart to deliver the graduation address.
Thank you very much, and that music intro was amazing, I've got to say. Thank you to Deputy Chancellor, Dr. Megan Clark, Senior Vice Provost and Vice President for Research, Professor Rebecca Brown, Head of the School of Primary and Allied Healthcare, Professor Terry Haynes, members of the faculty, family and friends, and especially a very warm welcome to the new graduates and congratulations to you all. It's been a big day. I didn't expect when I said that I would come here and speak that I'd be leading again another COVID program trying to manage an outbreak in our community. So it has been a big day, but I'm really honoured and humbled to be here in front of you on such a special occasion for you all. I graduated in 1988, 33 years ago now, and I sat in this very hall where you all sit now, relieved to have passed, excited to be with all my classmates, nervous and anxious about what the future had to hold. Last year I was made an adjunct clinical professor in the Faculty of Medicine, reflecting my ongoing commitment to research. I'm often asked about why I went into medicine, why I chose this career, why I chose infectious diseases, why infection prevention, and now why I chose to take on a leadership role. When I left high school as the only person I knew to go to university, I was not aware of the journey ahead, as you all won't be aware of your journey ahead, and in the latter part of my career that I'd be one of the people in a leadership role helping to protect our community in the largest infectious disease outbreak of our time. So for me, it's not been necessarily choosing a path, but more about being open to taking opportunities as they arise, learning, choosing the right mentors, being a little bit brave to be able to respond to challenges and changes as they come. I grew up in suburban Melbourne, my father and Fira Turner, my mother running a busy household, knowing that despite being proud of my parents for raising two children without finishing high school themselves, that I wanted more. I wasn't quite sure what that was or how I'd get there for a while. There are often one or two people in someone's life who influences our paths, and for me, one was a dear, close family member. He was the only other friend or family member I knew then to go to university, and he encouraged me to do the same. I studied hard and was accepted into medicine, and so I began the journey I have continued at Monash University. He told me he was gay at a time when being gay was very difficult. When I travelled with him and his partner to Brisbane one year, I remember being turned away from hotel after hotel because he and his partner were travelling as a couple. I began to understand discrimination through his eyes, and this has had a profound impact on my approach to medicine. When he became HIV positive, we cried together. I began specialising in infectious diseases to understand more about his disease in the hope I could help him. This was back in the early 1990s when we knew very little about how to manage HIV, when AZT was the wonder drug, albeit briefly, until all who were on it became resistant to its effects. When he developed AIDS in the mid-1980s, I helped care for him at Fairfield Hospital, which was our major infectious diseases hospital back then, And I watched him get complication after complication, watched him fade away. I couldn't help, and in fact, at that time, all who worked in HIV medicine were in the same boat. Our main tools were comfort and compassion. And people in medicine sometimes forget the guidance of Hippocrates. Cure sometimes, treat often, comfort always, and I hope everybody remembers that. When he came to nearing the end of his life, he asked if I could help him leave the world and all the suffering he was going through. That was not something that was possible at that time, let alone the options available to a young doctor. This was one of my most difficult parts of my life, and it's been very pleasing now to see the advances in the treatment of both HIV, but also the establishment of a voluntary assisted dying legislation in Victoria. In fact, advances in my field over my career have and continue to be extraordinary. Now HIV treatment consists of combination therapy so that people live with HIV. The development of COVID vaccine, we're all hopefully getting vaccinated at the moment, has been in record time. Previously, it's taken up to decades to develop a vaccine. And new platforms such as the mRNA technology have meant this vaccine has been available to us now. Using genomics and bioinformatics has meant we have tools for improved diagnosis, drug susceptibility testing and molecular epidemiology so we can see what's circulating in our community. My family member that I've mentioned, his lasting legacy is that he has led me to a career that has been filled with many rewards and many challenges. I've done what I felt was right, chosen paths that suited me, took advice, faced challenges, and I continue to learn. And for me, that is what having a degree gave me, and hopefully you, a tangible symbol of your determination and hard work. And I hope in the future a reminder of the ability to keep learning and challenging yourself, the continuation of a commitment to lifelong learning. I went from Monash graduate to spending the majority of my time in the public health system. That's where I started, and that's where I'll remain. For me, it's been about caring for people, working as part of a team, learning from my mentors, teaching those coming up, and a commitment to learning through research and being open to new ideas. I did my internship at Prince Henry's and Queen Victoria Hospital. Those hospitals no longer exist. They were demolished in the 1980s to form Monash Medical Centre here at Clayton. I cared for the last patient in intensive care at Prince Henry's before moving out to Clayton. I've been a Monash graduate and a Monash Health employee ever since, just taking a year of my training off to work at Fairfield Hospital. I went from intern to registrar to chief registrar at Monash Health, and then completed a PhD at Monash University, before going on to have a few years of less work and have 2 children who are now aged 18 and 20 years of age. When I was able to take on a few more hours, a position as co-director of infection prevention came up at Monash Health, and I thought, that's a great job, perfect, it's flexible, it's quiet, it's not too stressful. Yeah, how naive I was. Traditionally, infection prevention has been the police officer of the hospital, always telling people what to do. Generally, nobody wants to know what you have to say. It's boring, it's not relevant, doesn't make any money for the hospital, just gets in the way. But how times have changed. As an infectious disease physician, we've prepared for SARS, avian influenza, swine flu, MERS, Ebola virus, Zika virus, superbugs, and now, of course, COVID-19. Every one of these challenges has been a mixture of interests, personal challenge, uncertainty, and of course a little bit of fear. But when all put together, provide the motivation, energy, and determination to succeed. The COVID pandemic has been the busiest and the scariest time of my career, but also one of the most rewarding. When COVID came along, everyone wanted to know what my profession thought about washing your hands, respiratory etiquette, contact precautions, PPE, ventilation, getting vaccinated. All these things became first on people's minds. And I went from being a relatively unknown face to someone in our health service everyone knew, with healthcare workers of about 18,000. Like many of us, I wasn't really prepared for what COVID-19 has brought. I'm a quiet and private person, and little did I know that I'd be asked to regularly appear on national TV, to be filmed having the first vaccination in Victoria for every news channel in Australia to see, to advise, to influence, to help protect not only our own healthcare workers but the population at large. I've gone from running a quiet infection prevention unit to leading an infection prevention program against COVID, both within and outside the hospital, leading a brand new local public health unit to contain COVID, as well as leading the vaccination program for the South East. It's been intense, busy, scary, overwhelming, but also so rewarding and part of my journey that started right here with my degree. People have asked me how I've managed this last year with the stress and demands of a role, and sometimes I'm not really sure, but I know I have drawn on my commitment to healthcare, the community, and my training. I walk a lot, I listen to music, and I do make sure I spend time with family, friends, and colleagues. I've made sure that I'm able to talk over some of the more challenging parts of the year with a small number of trusted people, both in professional and personal relationships, and I think that's so important going forward for all of you who are just graduating. It's been an interesting time in my profession, and the extraordinary number of infectious disease experts that actually have emerged, that have come alive in traditional media, as well as many social channels available. So-called experts with vocal opinions, who have trained in all areas of medicine, but also retail, hospitality, and many other fields. A diversity of opinion is always welcome, but I have to say it also has helped me develop a new level of patience and resilience. So as I was thinking about this speech, I was thinking about what I would tell my graduating self. What do I wish I had known then that I do know now? Firstly, I think the most important thing is keep contact with your friends and family. The people that you know best will be there to support you in the future, and they may well be the people sitting next to you right now, the people in your graduating class. Be kind, encourage and support each other through the many ups and downs ahead, because there will be many. Similarly, don't forget to let those who supported you get to this stage, your mums, dads, guardians, friends, people sitting here in the audience, let them know how grateful you are. Show them bits of the life that you are creating. It's quite easy to forget and to get caught up in the whirlwind of life, study and work, but just don't let that impact on connecting with family and friends. Secondly, nurture your passions. Don't let career overrun your passions. They broaden you, make you better, more interesting. Don't give up on your love of theatre, music, sport, food, cars, family, children, whatever passion you have, keep it going. These are the things that give us balance in our busy lives. Thirdly, take opportunity when it arises. Don't be afraid to say yes, even if you think you're not up for the challenge, because this is how we grow. Self-doubt is such a large part of our makeup. It can show up as a fear of failure, as imposter syndrome, and a fear of being found out. I know this because I have lived this. It's very difficult to fend off, and it can show up as avoidance, doing everything but that one thing you know you need to do. The thing is, it can stop us from getting started on things we really want to do. So my advice is to just take a small step forward, just one step at a time, and then your actions can actually change your thoughts, which in turn change your feelings, and before you know it, you're moving forward and are left wondering why you hadn't started doing it ages ago. And always be open to learning. Courage is what gets you started, confidence comes later. Hang out with people that encourage you, your friends and family that know you. Listen to those who encourage and nurture your strengths. Think about what traits you are that you think you need to be successful with your goals, and borrow them from others around you. Borrow them from your mentors, from people you look up to. Mentors are so important. Learn from them. Learn all their good habits and learn what their bad habits are and get rid of them. Finally, know that you are enough, that you are smart enough, talented enough to achieve your goals. You have the proof today. You have graduated. This is not the end of the beginning of your journey. Embrace it. Keep on learning and challenging yourself. Congratulations on graduating. Celebrate and enjoy. Thank you and good luck. And of course, I know you all will get the COVID vaccine when it's your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Stuart. You said it was a big day for you, and we thank you so much for living up to your commitment to be here today when you were being bombarded. Integrity is the simple thing of doing what you said you were going to do, and you did that today, so thank you. And thank you for what you've done for our nation. You said you were a bit brave at the beginning, but I think you were hugely brave. You also mentioned first in family to come to Monash, and there's several graduates here in front of me that are also first in family to come to Monash, and it's something that Monash takes with deep pride. So thank you for sharing that. You shared the challenges of the GLBTIQ community as well, and reminded us of some of that history and your care for your friend. And you live Ancora Imparo, the motto of Monash. You reminded the students of such wonderful, personal, but very real advice. We thank you so much. Thank you for giving such a wonderful